Have you ever caught yourself wondering, how many good years do I have left? Maybe it happens during a quiet walk or while watching your grandchildren play. That quiet thought about time, health, and what lies ahead after 70. The truth is, aging isn't just about counting years. It's about recognizing the signs your body and mind quietly send. Signs that can reveal more about your future than you might expect. And no, this isn't guesswork. These signals are backed by decades of research from some of the most insightful longevity studies around the world. In this video, we'll explore 9 subtle yet powerful signs that can help you understand where you truly stand, and more importantly, what you can do to keep moving forward with strength, clarity, and purpose. So stay with me. You might just find the reassurance or the wake-up call you've been waiting for. Number 1, your walking speed. They say the way you move through the world says a lot about how you're living, and they're right. Your walking speed might seem like a small detail, something hardly worth thinking about, but to doctors and researchers, it's one of the clearest windows into your overall health, especially after age 70. It's not just about how quickly you can cross a room. It's about what your pace reveals, the strength of your muscles, the health of your heart, and even the sharpness of your mind. Picture this. 2 friends, both in their 70s. Evelyn starts her mornings with a gentle walk through the neighborhood. She waves to neighbors, breathes in the fresh air, and lets her thoughts wander with every step. Her pace isn't hurried, but it's steady, confident. Meanwhile, her friend Clara spends most of her time seated. Her steps are slower now, more cautious. It's not a matter of will. Her body just doesn't respond the same way anymore. The difference? It's not about who's younger or more athletic. It's about routine, about movement becoming a quiet act of care. If you've noticed yourself slowing down, don't be discouraged. You're not behind. You're just at a new beginning. Start where you are. A short walk down the hallway, a stroll to the mailbox. Add balance exercises. Let movement become your daily check-in, your gentle reminder that you still have strength to build. Because your walking speed is more than just a number. It's a quiet promise to your future self. And every step you take today is a gift to the years ahead. Number 2, grip strength. Have you ever shaken someone's hand and instantly sensed their energy, not just in the firmness of their grip, but in the quiet strength it carried? That's grip strength. And as simple as it may seem, it holds far more meaning than most people realize. Your grip isn't just about the power in your hands, it reflects the strength of your whole body. More than that, it speaks volumes about your heart, your nerves, and even your overall vitality. In fact, researchers have found that grip strength can predict longevity better than blood pressure. That discovery stopped me in my tracks. I still remember the first time I picked up a hand dynamometer at a health fair. It looked harmless enough, but as I tried to squeeze it, I felt the resistance push back, revealing just how much strength I'd lost without noticing. It was humbling and enlightening. It made me realize that small muscles, often overlooked, tell a big story. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment to rebuild what time may have taken. I met Harold, a 76-year-old neighbor who simply kept a soft tennis ball next to his reading chair. I squeeze it while watching the evening news, he said with a smile. That small habit, done daily, brought strength back to his hands and confidence back to his steps. So next time you reach for a jar, open a door, or hold someone's hand, pause for a moment. Feel your grip. It's more than just a movement. It's your body speaking. Strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply squeezes back. And with a little care, it can become one of your greatest allies in aging well. Number 3, your social connections. There's something quietly powerful about the warmth of a familiar voice, a shared laugh, or even just sitting beside someone who understands you. As we grow older, these moments aren't just comforting, they're life-giving. I'll never forget what my friend Leonard, now 74, once told me. The days I have someone to talk to are the days I feel most alive, and science backs him up. A remarkable study from Brigham Young University found that social isolation can increase the risk of early death by up to 50%. That's not just a statistic, it's a wake-up call. You see, our need for connection doesn't fade with age. In fact, it deepens. Being around others lifts our mood, sharpens our minds, and even supports our physical health. Yet for many, those social circles shrink over time. Loved ones move, health changes, and before we know it, the silence becomes heavy. But here's the beautiful truth. It's never too late to reconnect. I recently started volunteering at a small neighborhood library. I thought I was just giving a few hours of my week. But what I got in return was friendship, laughter, and a renewed sense of purpose. Whether it's joining a local group, calling an old friend, or simply sharing coffee with a neighbor, the smallest gestures can open doors. So if you've been feeling a little more alone than you'd like, take that first step. Reach out. Someone out there is waiting for connection too. And who knows, that one conversation might just add more life to your years than you ever imagined. Number 4, quality of your sleep. There's something sacred about a good night's sleep. The kind that cradles you gently and returns you to the morning feeling whole again. I used to believe I could power through with just 4 or 5 hours, especially if I had a cup of coffee in hand. But as the years passed, I started waking up tired, no matter how long I stayed in bed. It wasn't just fatigue, it was a heaviness in my body, a fog in my mind. That's when I stumbled across research from the National Sleep Foundation. It struck a chord. They found that older adults who consistently get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night are far less likely to face chronic illnesses. Sleep, it turns out, isn't just rest. It's repair, it's renewal, it's your body's most loyal healer. For me, it wasn't about sleeping more, but sleeping better. I met Evelyn, a 71-year-old with a glow about her, and she shared her secret, a steady sleep routine. Same bedtime, every night, she smiled, and no caffeine after lunch. I followed her advice. I began turning off screens an hour before bed, sipping herbal tea, reading an old favorite novel. Small things, but they made a world of difference. If you're struggling with insomnia or suspect something like sleep apnea, please don't brush it off. Your body is whispering that it needs help. Speak with a doctor. There are gentle, effective ways to find your rhythm again. Sleep is not a luxury. It's a quiet pillar of longevity. Nurture it, protect it, and it will give you back mornings filled with clarity, strength, and the kind of peace only rest can bring. Number 5, your waistline. It's easy to get caught up in numbers on a scale. For years, that's all I focused on. Watching my weight go up or down and thinking that told the whole story. But I was missing something far more important. It wasn't until my doctor, Dr. Jenkins, gently wrapped a tape measure around my midsection that I realized. Your waistline often tells a deeper truth. According to the Mayo Clinic, having a waistline over 40 inches for men or 35 inches for women can significantly increase the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even early death. That hit me hard. I wasn't drastically overweight, but the extra weight I carried around my middle was quietly doing harm. What changed for me wasn't a crash diet or grueling workouts. It was small, kind adjustments. I started replacing my usual afternoon cookies with fresh berries or a handful of almonds. I added oatmeal to my mornings, and slowly my plate became more colorful with vegetables and whole grains. The best part? I didn't feel deprived. I felt lighter, clearer, more in control. Movement helped too. I began walking each morning, just 15 minutes to start. I'd wave at the neighbors, take in the sunrise, and let my body stretch into the day. Over time, I added a bit of yoga, some light strength training, and the waistline that once worried me began to shrink. Not because I punished my body, but because I finally listened to it. This isn't about vanity, it's about vitality. Your waistline is a gentle messenger, so be kind to it. Feed it well, move with purpose, and you'll be surprised at how much better life feels. Not just on the outside, but deep within. Number 6, your mental health. We often talk about the heart, the muscles, the bones, but what about the quiet weight we carry in our minds? I used to think stress, sadness, or occasional hopelessness were just parts of getting older, something to be endured in silence. But a long-term Harvard study changed my perspective. Over 80 years of research, they found something incredible. Those who nurtured a hopeful, positive mindset live not only longer, but better. That made me pause. I began to look more closely at how stress was shaping my days. I noticed how it wore me down, not just emotionally, but physically. Sleepless nights, tight shoulders, a chest that felt heavy for no reason at all. And I realized if I wanted more life in my years, I needed to tend to the garden of my thoughts. So I started small, 10 minutes each morning, just breathing, listening, letting the noise in my head quiet down. I picked up a journal, not to write anything fancy, just to pour out the thoughts that crowded my mind. Worries, memories, even little victories. Over time, I noticed something beautiful. I felt lighter, calmer. I also opened up to therapy. Talking to someone trained to listen and guide me made all the difference. And I became intentional about who I spent time with. Friends like Ruth, who always makes me laugh, or my grandson Ben, who reminds me how joyful life still is. Your mental health isn't just about avoiding sadness. It's about choosing to protect your peace. Even small practices, mindfulness, gratitude, connection, can reshape the way you live. Because when your heart and your mind are in harmony, life feels richer, fuller, and far more worth waking up to. Number 7, your flexibility and balance. Not long ago, my neighbor Doris, who's 75 and always full of energy, challenged me to stand on one leg for 10 seconds. "It's harder than it looks," she laughed. She was right. I wobbled, caught myself, and suddenly realized balance isn't just something we need to walk straight. It's a quiet marker of how well our body's aging. It turns out that little challenge carries big meaning. A study from the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that seniors who could balance on one leg for at least 10 seconds had a significantly lower risk of early death. Why? Because balance and flexibility reflect much more than we think. They show how strong our muscles are, how well our nervous system responds, and how confidently we can move through the world. And here's the good news. You don't need to be an athlete to improve. Doris told me she started with just 5 minutes a day, standing near a chair, lifting one foot, holding her breath, and giggling when she tipped over. Slowly, she added some gentle stretches and a bit of morning yoga. Now she glides through her day with ease. I followed her lead. A few simple movements before breakfast, reaching for my toes, practicing balance as I brushed my teeth. It felt silly at first, but something changed. I moved with more ease, more confidence. Even climbing stairs felt smoother. It's not about mastering perfect poses. It's about staying strong, upright, and independent. So if your body feels a little stiffer lately, don't ignore it. Move gently, move often, because balance isn't just about not falling. It's about standing tall in every chapter of your life. Number 8, your diet. There's a quiet kind of wisdom in what we choose to place on our plate. I once heard my friend Elena, now 78 and still glowing with energy, say, "The food we eat becomes the body we live in." And the older I get, the more I believe she's right. For years, researchers have studied the diets of people who live long, vibrant lives. And one pattern keeps appearing: the Mediterranean diet. It's not a trend or a restriction. It's a way of living that celebrates real, nourishing food. A study published in the BMJ revealed something remarkable. Seniors who followed this style of eating had a 25% lower risk of early death. That's not just a number. That's extra years of birthdays, family dinners, and peaceful mornings. So what does this look like in everyday life? Think colorful plates filled with leafy greens, ripe tomatoes, and roasted vegetables. Think of a drizzle of olive oil instead of heavy sauces, grilled fish in place of red meat, and fresh fruit instead of sugary treats. It's not about being perfect. It's about making choices that love your body back. For me, the changes were simple. I swapped my morning toast for oatmeal with berries. I added a salad to lunch and a handful of walnuts in the afternoon. I didn't give up joy. I found it in flavors that felt good and did good. Avoiding overly processed foods and added sugars can make a world of difference. But more importantly, eating should still be a pleasure. Something shared, savored, and celebrated. So next time you sit down for a meal, ask yourself, is this food building the kind of life I want to live? Because every bite is a small step toward a longer, stronger tomorrow. Number 9, your purpose in life. There's something quietly powerful about waking up in the morning and knowing why. Not just what's on the calendar, but what pulls you forward, What gives your day meaning? I saw this most clearly in my friend Harold, who at 82 still tends to his garden every morning with the same devotion he once gave his career. These plants, he once told me, give me something to care for, something to look forward to. It turns out Harold is onto something deeply human. In the world's longest living communities, places like Okinawa, Japan, and Nicoya, Costa Rica, researchers discovered a common thread: purpose. In Japan, they call it ikigai, which means reason for being. People who live with purpose not only live longer, but they live with more joy, resilience, and peace. Your purpose doesn't have to be grand. It might be the joy of helping raise a grandchild, volunteering at your local church, or simply writing letters to old friends. It could be a creative pursuit, a morning walk to greet the sun, or a quiet promise to keep learning and growing, no matter your age. When I lost my spouse a few years ago, I felt adrift, like a ship with no compass. But over time, I found new direction in mentoring younger folks at the community center, sharing my story, listening to theirs. And little by little, my days began to feel full again. Purpose isn't something we stumble upon, it's something we nurture. And no matter where you are in life, it's never too late to find a reason to wake up with hope. Because when you have something to live for, you also give your life more room to grow. Each of these 9 signs offers more than just insight. They offer opportunity. Because no matter what age the calendar shows, your story is still being written. And the choices you make today can shape a brighter, stronger tomorrow. Maybe it's taking a longer walk than yesterday, calling an old friend, or simply choosing a better meal. You don't need to do it all at once. Just begin, gently but consistently. That's how lasting change is made. Remember, living longer isn't just about the years ahead. It's about the life you bring into each day. So which sign spoke to you most? Share your thoughts with a quick comment. My next step. I'd love to hear what you'll start with. If this video resonated with you, consider subscribing. Not just to stay updated, but to keep walking this journey together. And in our next video, we'll explore simple habits that make aging not just easier, but more joyful. Until then, take care of yourself. You're worth it.